The perspectives shared by the participants in this podcast are solely their own and not intended as medical advice. For any health issues, we strongly recommend seeking guidance from a licensed professional.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Rare Realities with Madimo Mimo Mokgosi, where we dive into the emotional journeys of individuals living with rare conditions, where we tell one story at a time. Imagine going to the doctor and coming back with a diagnosis that it can either be cured, cannot be cured, and now you have to live with it for the rest of your life. I am not alone. I am with the gorgeous Boitumelo Rametsi,
Yeah.
and she is living with Vitiligo. Boitumelo, welcome to Rare Realities with Madimo Mimo Mokgosi.
How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming through. Boitumelo, can you please tell us about yourself, who you are, and when Vitiligo started?
Mm-hmm. So, I'm Boitumelo Rametsi, known as Boitumelo Spotted on the gram and the socials.
Uh-huh.
I am a mother, a daughter first. Yes, I'm a daughter first to my mom, and I'm a mother as well to a handsome young man, Sangelo.
Cute.
And I'm a model. I'm a creative. I've always been a creative. I've always been just outspoken. I think it's a very common trait within a Gemini.
Oh, yay! When in June?
On the 10th.
Nice!
Really?
Oh my goodness!
That's incredible. But you see what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
common trait in a Gemini to be out there and outspoken. And,
Of course.
you know, we're always challenged with things. And I feel like we're the type of people that conquer a lot. So I believe there wasn't anybody else to be chosen to be doing the things that we're doing to this
True.
day other than who we are, because our characteristics basically combat these things. So yeah, I'm a creative. I've always just been that fun person that is just, I'm quite innovative. I always just want to see what more can come out of anything. I don't just take reality as it's just given to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just in the modeling industry. I'm in the creative space. I'm a digital content creator. I'm a brand strategist as well by profession. And yeah, I'm just here living my life.
Like it's golden.
Like it's golden. And in terms of just like my journey in the creative space, like growing up, being creative was never really just like a celebrated thing. It was just cute that you can draw. Like, oh, you can draw, you can paint, look at that. But I never saw a career coming out of it. And I also didn't see how the world would shift me in that direction as well. I feel like I was guided to being here. It was never my plan and intention. My vitiligo started when I was 12 in grade 6. And it was only like a small spot, like under my armpit. And like I had the one of a size of a 5 rand coin just here by my belly button. And when I went to the doctor, it was just a matter of them giving me creams and ointments. I feel like this is
Let it out.
because I announced it and now it's like, feeling right back.
It's gone.
Yeah, so it was just that in itself. And I didn't think it would shift me in this direction. It didn't affect me when I was young. It was just a questionable thing like, why is my skin doing that?
Oh, okay.
And then it only really started affecting me in high school when I started being in relationships and being intimate, because it wasn't just small spots everywhere now. It was just like growing a bit more and it's just different. And now I only had to explain myself to one individual, which is my partner or whoever I'm seeing at the time. And then when it started spreading on my face in varsity and like, actually it was in matric. And then I got my first few spots on my face and I was like, and my lips were pink, but it was cute and it worked. And my lips were still like lined with brown on them. With melanin, so it didn't really feel like a thing until I'd also have like funny remarks from people like, do you drink brandy? Because that's the results of drinking brandy. Like, you know, so it's just like, is that the first thing you would say to someone? But I guess because there's lack of awareness, then there's nothing else to say other than that's what we know. So that's the result, you know? And then that was just like my first experience of not understanding what the issue is. But then I also at that time didn't know it was vitiligo.
Okay.
With my lips being like that, I just thought, oh, okay, my lips are pink.
Oh, okay.
Because it wasn't this bright. Right now it is, but in high school and primary, it was just really nice. It was basically the brat lip look everyone has.
Yeah.
That's
Cute.
what it was. It was nice.
Yeah.
So just getting out of there and getting into varsity, I decided to do branding and strategy because I actually wanted to study graphic design. But how I passed my matric didn't qualify for me to be doing that specific degree at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do what I was doing at Vega, which is just brand strategy, which turned out well because just the evolution of marketing and branding and how it's evolved to individuals today like ourselves being our own brands, and you have to manage your brand. And that understanding for me just poured into the person that I am today.
Yeah.
So with my skin changing, I had this brand called Be Glam, which I still do have. It's just not as active as I would have loved it to be.
Okay.
But I'm working on that. But that started with makeup and photography because that was something that was seen as something too special or only for people that are like celebrities and I'm a creative. I shoot, I can braid, I can, like I said, I can literally do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just that person in the family that you want around when you're getting ready for your special occasion. It's just like, yay, I'm that fairy godmother with all the magic. You know? So just starting that, I felt like I just wanted to give the people around me and the world around me a chance to experience something they can experience without feeling like it's not for them and not for anyone else. And that included doing makeup. I was a self-taught makeup artist. I did makeup, I did the creatives. I was just like all the creative hats. And then my vitiligo started spreading a bit more while I was still in varsity as well. And it was just a point in time where I had to decide like what that means for me. And when I went to go see a doctor, they told me for my self-esteem purposes, just put makeup on it. But it doesn't really help because I can't be putting makeup on everywhere. That's
body.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you have no guarantee of how long this is going to stay, or you just have like some suggestions that I should do some costly procedures like phototherapy, there's skin grading as well. So phototherapy is like getting into a sunbed, and basically those rays reignite the cells that died, so your melanin cells. So what vitiligo is basically, let me just track back a bit. Vitiligo basically is your immune system killing the cells that give you the melanin. So for me, it's like a matter of like, how do you actually convince my immune system that these cells are important to me? I mean, I also feel like they're underestimating the intelligence of my immune system by choice. Because when you're pregnant, that is not the case. You can't take medication. You can't do this and that. They're like, you have to trust your immune system. It's not good for the child. But now here is my immune system making this decision that these cells do not matter in my body. We do not want them. It doesn't balance me out. Why is it that it's only for my appearance and just my consciousness, and also for, I feel, just test purposes. Because that's what humans do. We want to test and find out, test and see. Like,
True.
You want to go through this trial phase with us?
I
don't know.
Not sure.
I'm not sure
Maybe
about
not.
that. So I feel like it's a matter of it being a self thing. So I did do phototherapy when it started on my face, and I felt like maybe if I managed that and see how that works out for me, then I'd feel better. And it really didn't turn out that way. I had a job. I worked at Ogilvy in Matha, and it was amazing. And I had to have a session twice a week, right? And the facilities to have this phototherapy were not available, that easily accessible. It was in Pretoria, and Ogilvy's in Fourways. And my appointment was always just before work. So I needed to be there between 6 and 7 and try and make my way back from Pretoria. Because also the session is 2 minutes long. So they gradually increase the dosage. You get in for a minute, and then the next week or maybe in a month or so, you start doing 2 minutes. But you understand, you're literally just going in there just for that 2 minutes. But the energy around it is basically because I'm trying to control people's perception of me and how they see me and just feel better about myself in that way. But I have to work so hard for that. I have to pay at least $250 for one session, and I need 2 of those in a week. So I'm spending at least 2,000 Rand a month. That's just the session, not including the driving that I'm doing to Pretoria and back twice in a week, and the energy that it draws from you. And I had to really look at myself and look at my life and really think it through. Like, is this really what I want for myself? Am I doing it for me? Or what is it? And I mean, I did the process and it really wasn't nice. It feels like you're sunburnt.
Ay.
That's what it feels like. And it's like an immediate thing. It's like between me and getting to work, my skin would redden. And like I wouldn't even be able to blink mostly because like where it's so exposed, that's where it would hurt. So if you have folds, you imagine what like a sunburn would be like.
Shucks.
So for me, just weighing out the options, it just felt that, you know what, I need to actually just be happy with myself first, and then everyone else will follow suit. And that's when my brand evolved and changed, because it was like just doing makeup. And at that time, Kim Kardashian's face baking just came out, you know, that banana bake and all of that. And it was like, okay, this is the trend. And it didn't really come off or be perceived as me trying to cover up, but it's just trend and it's just beauty and what the beauty standards are at the time. And in this process of me doing this phototherapy, I came to realize that, you know what makes you different is really what makes you beautiful. And I think I need to restructure myself and restructure what I am articulating to people in the work that I do, that it's more about enhancing your beauty and not making you beautiful. So I feel like that's why a full face beat for me has never been something that I've looked forward to or have done before, or feel it's always a tricky situation, because it's just like, it's kind of tricky because it's not embracing
who you are.
It's more just like doing exactly what you think you should be doing. So that's what it evolved to. And what I mean by like, I wish I'm working on getting back to working with my brand is because the whole skin changing and me choosing myself and me seeing myself more shifted because I was in front of the camera a lot more. I remember I actually worked with a photographer named Edward Odonko, and he's from Ghana. And he was one of the first few people that really appreciated my beauty for what it was. And I was still in the transitioning phase. And I remember I shot content with him very, very long ago. And I had a full face beat on. My cousin came, did my makeup, and I felt beautiful, but I really didn't at the same time because we worked so hard to look that beautiful, like for that whole face beat to happen. And this photographer was so keen on removing this makeup. And I couldn't understand it. And I'm just like, after all the work we did, we need to shoot a bit more, okay? While I look like this. And then maybe we'll do what you want. He wanted that whole remove and take it off just to show the power in choosing yourself. And even though I was in that process, I wasn't really in it yet. I was still fitting into that discomfort and sitting in it. And sure, I haven't seen or spoken to him in a while, but like, I hope he sees this or we hear from him someday. But like, he was an amazing man. And I feel like, and he was really focused on that. I mean, people today are just like on trend and trying to be on trend, but he was honestly, fully, authentically really there and saying that, wow, this is like so incredible. And unfortunately in life, as long as you don't see something, it really actually doesn't matter. And I'm always telling people that it's always important for you to know and believe something, even if you think I'm beautiful, and you shower me with compliments on the daily. Oh my gosh. As long as I don't think it matters not in the world that I'm in, and it won't exude and you won't see it. So so it's just been a journey on its own. And now I want to be in the space of creating. I know a lot of people do want to work with me and they do want to shoot with me, but they also want me in the shot. And I want people to actually just be okay with being on their own, even though I'm in that environment, and celebrate themselves. Because I also understand, like, feeling empowered, being with me in the shot does make sense. But even with just me being in that space should equate to that. And I just want to work on that a bit more and be more behind the camera like I used to as a photographer. And still be out there, but just focus more on creating, because I feel like it's also quite therapeutic to create and put something out there that you see and feel and believe in, as opposed to always collaborating and waiting for approval from anyone else.
Yeah. So when it comes to vitiligo, does it only affect your skin, or there are other complications to it?
There can be other issues like alopecia. I've had that, like hair loss, which is tricky because like now my scalp is sensitive. And thing is, it's not the same for everyone. People actually don't all experience the same thing, but majority have that chronic hair loss that you experience, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's definitely frustrating. But other than that, you don't get sick or ill. You just have to take extra precaution in taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be in the sun too much, or when it's too harsh, don't be in the sun. You know what I mean? And always have sunscreen. Just really preserving your skin a bit more than you would have if you had all the melanin in the world.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask if there's like a skin sensitivity.
So much. I really am sensitive. In all ways, like whether it's using skin products, intimacy in itself.
Yeah.
It's like my skin, I'm a fragile being.
I can imagine.
I'm so fragile, and it's just like, oh my goodness. I hope that I always engage with people that understand that and are not here to just, experience life and then just hurt my feelings or hurt me or not even consider me in any way. But it really does cause sensitivity. Even with hair, my hair took so long to do. But the reason it took so long to do was because my stylist was so kind and lenient and did not pull my hair.
Yeah.
He was so gentle, and it took over 8 hours to get done.
Jeez.
So just to have that gentle energy and someone who's willing is an honor, and it's so much gratitude to those type of people. But there's also people that actually don't have time for that. And they're just like, you're a problem. Like, oh my gosh, every time I have to touch your hair, you're like this, you're like that.
Yeah.
You come off as too fussy, but I am too fussy. My being is fussy. My entire existence is fragile. So I have to take care of it because you're not going to take care of it.
So you always have to be like, have a specific stylist and whom you stick to because they understand you better. Mm-hmm. That must be hard.
It's not easy.
Because now you have to explain yourself every now and then when you have to do your hair at a new place.
Yeah. And it's also like frustrating if you're just like also like an empath and you're always in your feelings. So you're just now emotional about it.
Can you imagine,
I'm already physically fragile without choice, like as it is, and I'm working on that. And now you're just too emotional about it, and it just makes you just like a ball of...
Yeah. Do you still find people who stay a lot because they do not... I still feel like we don't know much about vitiligo. I mean, I almost revealed my age, but I'm quite old. But back in high school or primary, we only used to see people with freckles.
Yeah.
And at one point, I thought maybe freckles are like a symptoms to vitiligo, that you kind of start to lose your pigmentation and whatnot.
I've heard that before, actually. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
And I can 100% agree with you that in my time, oh my God. In my time, I hardly ever saw anybody that looks different and anybody with vitiligo.
Yeah.
So for me, I am a proud game changer and instigator, and someone who's just like, I held the light for myself and other people as well. And thank goodness for global connections and seeing people like Winnie Hollow at that time when she was doing Top Model.
Yes.
And it was just like, oh, okay. And my skin wasn't necessarily like that at that time, but that awareness and seeing someone made a big difference. You know what I mean? So even if it wasn't of interest, but it actually mattered more than I thought it would have mattered.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gave me the courage to also just stand for myself. And that gave light and courage to other people to stand for themselves. and show up and feel comfortable and be proud to be in the skin that they're in and not feel like they have to hide it. I mean, there's a lot of people that still feel that way, but we have to just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you do it though? Because I'm sure it wasn't easy to literally come out and be like, okay.
It wasn't, but I'm a Gemini, girl.
Right,
And everything is just water off your back. Like, yes, I can be affected by something, but it doesn't stick for too long.
Yeah.
It really doesn't stick for too long. And I just moved on. And I was just like, oh, okay. Well, this is it. I mean, bullying exists. People can be mean, but...
And I feel like you guys are like the chosen models.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you go everywhere and anywhere and you see a model and they have vitiligo. And I'm just there like... but you guys are like beautiful, you know, like you're different. It's beautiful. And at the same time, you still want to understand how can a skin do such an amazing artwork, yet it's a condition.
Yeah. I've also had that conversation with someone about my identity not being a trend. And that was a conversation at the Beauty Revolution.
Yeah.
And it's about the fact that, like you're saying, you would see a lot of models, but you do find that a lot of brands do want to just hop on the trend of like, oh, having this person that looks like this is going to look good for us, as opposed to someone who's actually trying to get the message across.
Yeah, raise awareness. Yeah.
Some sort of awareness. And having met someone who they knew me, haven't seen me, but they didn't know me. And they were just like, oh my gosh, I've been seeing you everywhere. Thank goodness you have the skin condition now, because now you are a model and now you're chosen to be everywhere. That's why I'm saying that my identity is not a trend.
It's not,
It's not the reason.
Get you now.
The reason I am the person I am today is not because my vitiligo showed up. It's because I've always been a creative. I've always been bold. I've always been just someone who shows up, and anyone can vouch for that. Anyone who's known me from when I was a child and in high school as well, I've just been this type of person that shows up with my hair looking good, and I'll stay confident. I'll stay bold because it's who I am and it's the essence of my being.
Yeah.
And it was just a bonus that I got to have vitiligo, which I love so much, because like even in my journey in storytelling, it's always about, I never had pimples. I never had, like, I've always just had like really great skin, like you. And it's just been popping. I was just that girl with the puns and lip gloss, and it was chilled. So for me to have vitiligo, doing a full face beads has just never ever been part of my lifestyle. I've never had to cover up something and, you know, just do all types of concealing or feel like, oh my God, my skin is like two-toned and this and this and this. But it is now. It's multi-toned, really. I'm not even just one tone. It's a lot. But it's not a lot. And that I feel like it's also like a mind thing, because a lot of people experience vitiligo differently.
True.
Some people get it within the space of 6 months. It's completely spread over their bodies. And when I did my research when I was younger, it said it spreads at the age of 20 or it spreads at the age of 40. And I do see that quite commonly. I've seen a lot of grown women, like Lelete as well. It only happened at a very later stage in her life. And I've seen grandmas and grandpas and old people that are actually quite happy. I feel like I'm happy for them also that it happened at the very end of their lives, where they're also quite content, and they are questioning themselves, but they're very content and they feel good about themselves and where they are. And then I'm meeting people that are my age at castings, because they'll have castings where they want people with albinism, vitiligo, and I don't know what else, but just people that just look different. And in those conversations with people there, that's where you get to meet a collective of people that look the same. And it's just like, so your vitiligo only started in Jan? Wow. Like, what do you mean? And you look like this now. And I came to realize that it actually also has to do a lot with the mind. Because it's stress related as well.
Oh, okay.
So the more you're stressed, obviously the more it'll spread. Then if you're not okay or happy with your identity, then the more likely it is to spread. Is like cause and effect for me. It only makes sense. And if this happens to you randomly at the age of 22 or 23, and you have the spot or your hand just starts to change, that will freak you out. And you're not even sure how this is going to happen. How rapidly it's going to happen is not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
That already just has you feeling like you have a midlife crisis, and it'll spread more.
Yeah.
So it's really a reflection of how your mind works and how you feel about yourself. And that's why I feel like I look like this, because I've looked like this for a very long time, much longer. I mean, it's over the space of 10 years. And yes, it's spread, but I still have a lot of melanin. Yeah, very slowly.
Yeah.
And that is a reflection of my mind. And the fact that I'm not repressing or suppressing any kind of feeling, but really the fact that when I realized it and then I felt like, this phototherapy thing is not going to work for me. It was a true decision. It wasn't the fact that it's not that I can't afford it. It's not that, I feel like, no, later on I'll try something else and maybe I'll also go for, no. And there's so many people that come with offerings like, oh, I know someone that also had this and and it's just like, I'm actually pretty happy. Do you not see me smiling? I'd understand if I was just looking a bit sad or if I was dressed up like fully covered up, but I love showing my skin. I love being naked.
No, I get you. I'm sure it's a Gemini thing, right?
I love showing up. Hello, we're in these bodies. Why should we not show them off? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, keep embracing who you are and showing that skin more. We love it.
My skin.
We love it. Yeah, we love it. And now for someone, a mother whose child is now... So are you able to be born with it?
When you are born with it, it's called piebaldism. And piebaldism is when it actually also appears in the center of your face. And that is piebaldism, and your hair grows out white.
Yes.
If you're born with it, it's piebaldism and not vitiligo.
Oh, thank you for clarifying that. Because I always thought maybe kids are like born with vitiligo.
And it's like hereditary. The family, they can also just have the parents have it and the kids have it. So it just looks like, oh wow, it's a whole family thing. But with vitiligo, it's not the case. It's like, it could happen.
Makes sense. Oh, thank you for that. Like, it makes sense. So now the mother, the child obviously wasn't born with vitiligo, but along when they grow up, and now the mother doesn't know how to explain to the child that this is what's happening to your skin. What's your message to the mother?
It's a very tricky space to be in, especially with how kids are. Kids are very brutal and kids are very honest. So my heart definitely goes out to people with piebaldism or even young kids that have vitiligo, because some kids, it even appears when they're like really small, like 4 or 5. Yeah. And to be asked that, like, it's quite piercing to be asked by a kid, what is wrong with you? And I mean, I'm 33 today and it's piercing for a child to be asking me that. I can't imagine what it feels like when it's your peer or, like something so raw and something that you yourself are still processing as to like, why do I look different? And you look like this. So I usually just say, oh, it's the sun. I've been spending too much time in the sun, dear child, because I mean, they have a short attention span. And I'm just like, I just need a lot more sunscreen so I can protect myself from the sun.
I love that.
Because it's a little white lie, because I really do need a more sunscreen, and the sun does affect me and it can make it worse. But it's not the initial reason. But for them to process that, like, oh, my immune system and this and that. So for them to just keep it short and be like, oh, the sun or God chose me to look like this. But for my own child, my kid, it was a process as well. With him going to school in grade 1, it was tricky. I would drop him off at school, and I'm that mom. I'm a very involved mom because I'm a creative. Obviously, I freelance and I'm home. So I have all the time in the world. Yeah. Coming outside. Let me walk you. Should I talk to your teacher? Should I not? And there was a point where he felt like I shouldn't. And that's when I knew that the other kids must be talking. Stuff, and that's beyond his control and my control. But what he can control is himself and how he sees me and how he perceives himself. And I just told him that, like, don't worry about the other kids. Like, they also just don't know what's going on. And if they're mean to you, then they have problems of their own because they're not happy with themselves. There's something wrong with them if they're going to say something ugly. But if they're asking you, just answer them and say, my mom looks like that, just looks like that, or she looks like that because of the sun, or whatever the case may be. You don't owe them an explanation, especially if they're asking in a rude way. But I made it a point to show up even more so that he accepts it and realizes that it's a reality that is there, and I'm not hiding myself, and I'm not about to start hiding myself because you feel the way you do. But the kids around you need to be comfortable with my presence and existence and know that this is normal and this is the life that we're living. And to this day, he's just been happier.
I love that.
And he's also gotten to the point where he was just like, but why don't I look like you then?
Oh,
like,
actually,
it would have been cute. He's like, yeah, I also want to look like that. And I'm just like, oh, you're a cutie pie, but no, you can't. Maybe you will. I don't know. I was also surprised that I got the spots, and there it is. But yeah, it's not a hereditary thing.
And I know for a fact that people are misinformed, that they think it can be passed on. And please do explain to them that no.
Well, it can't be passed on by touching and being together or even just being intimate. It's not that type of party. But it is hereditary if it is piebaldism and you're with someone that has piebaldism and can pass it on to their child. But in terms of vitiligo, it isn't at all. You can't pass it on. You can't, it's not. I don't have anybody in my family in any of the generations that I can say that had vitiligo or albinism, because maybe they could have possibly been linked or related because it's a lack of melanin. And there isn't at all.
So you're the only one in the family?
Just me.
God's favorite child.
God's fave.
You know what? How does it feel to be like, different?
Amazing.
I know.
I'm excited. I'm excited to do this live thing, and I feel it just makes me feel like I'm destined for a lot more. Like, my existence makes a difference to a huge amount of people, and me living and choosing myself on a daily makes people feel happy and choose themselves on a daily. So I feel like that is important, and my value in this world, there's an impact to it. And for as long as God wants that impact to happen, then I'll live longer. And I'll make a bigger change and a bigger impact and in the social space that I'm in, because to help someone choose life and choose to live and choose to be happy is just an honorable thing for me.
And you are doing it, hey? Like, you are that person where we look at you and you're like, I don't want to be like her, but I want to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be comfortable in my skin. I want to be comfortable in the person that I am, the woman that I'm becoming.
All of it, from head to toe.
Exactly.
All of it.
You're literally just showing us to be out there and living. And regardless of how we look.
That's all I aspire for, regardless of
how we look like. And please continue doing that.
I will.
We see you. We see you. We might not say it, but we see you.
We see you, girl.
We see you. You see me, I
see you. We see each other. And
we see each other, exactly.
That's all that matters. The fact that we are able to attract one another and be in the same spaces and speak the same conversation and understand but we're in different spheres. As much as it's different spheres, we're all experiencing the same thing.
Is there anything that you want to share with us that you feel you did not touch? Can be anything.
Could be anything.
Anything.
Oh my goodness. I believe that everyone should always choose themselves, and self-awareness is really important. And I think that that's the journey within every person's journey. So we all experience it differently, whether you're a burn victim, whether you have pimples, freckles, you were in an accident and had to get your leg cut off. Your life changes based on what you were aspiring to do. But that shift in direction somehow elevates you, and not just you, but many people around you. You know, you were like God's disciple, basically.
True.
And you lead so many by just your existence and presence. And I feel that is with great purpose, to live life with purpose, even if it's not by choice. And living purposefully allows you to grow and expand in ways that you could never imagine. So choosing self and being aware of how you process things and how you feel about things and how you respond to how life comes to you is very important. So just celebrate your uniqueness and know that what makes you different is exactly what makes you beautiful.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Thank you so much, Boitumelo, for coming through.
Thank you for having me,
sharing not just your story, but, you know, allowing us to embrace ourselves and living life. Yes, we're different, but our uniqueness shouldn't limit us into becoming who we want to become, but make us shine instead.
Exactly, because it's not
out.
all that defines you.
Yeah.
My condition isn't what defines me. Just living with vitiligo isn't what defines me. It's just many facets and multitudes of where we are.
Well, you heard it, not from me, but from Boitumelo. Until next time, bye.
Peace.